are going to be working together this month on art from South America. And our first stop is Mexico. Mexico is that country that touches the very southern border of the United States. And Mexico is known for its beautiful, colorful folk art. So what is folk art, you might ask? Folk art is everyday people creating extraordinary works of art. Folk art relies on experience and community and heritage rather than formal training. So they don't really go to school for this. This is something that's passed down through families. Sometimes many times it's deeply rooted in tradition. And folk art is an artist's feelings, ideas, expressions, and customs all brought to life through their art. Usually folk artists use the materials that are around them and in their community, just kind of like what you're having to do right now because we can't go out and shop like we want to. So we're going to use the things from our house. Now, one form of folk art in Mexico is called Alebrijes. Alebrijes are brightly colored Mexican folk art sculptures of fantastical creatures. The first Alebrijes, along with the use of the term, originated with a man named Pedro Linares. Now, Pedro was an artist, and in the 1930s, he fell very ill and developed a high fever. And while he was in bed, unconscious, Linares dreamt of a strange place resembling a forest. There he saw trees, animals, rocks, and clouds. But suddenly they turned into something very strange and unknown, especially the animals. He saw a donkey with butterfly wings, a rooster with bull horns, and a lion with an eagle head, and all of them were shouting one word, Alebrijes, Alebrijes. Upon recovery, he began to recreate those creatures he saw in his dream, and he used cardboard and paper mache, and he called them Alebrijes. So today, we are going to create our very own Alebrijes. Now this one is mine, but yours will look very different because you are going to make choices to express your own feelings and ideas and thoughts about yourself as a folk artist. We're going to learn a very simple printing technique that I think you're really going to enjoy. Now, just in case you don't have all of the materials, don't worry about that because I'm going to be giving you some alternative suggestions and ideas so that you can still make your very own Alebrijes. So let's get started, shall we? These are the supplies that you'll need. You'll need some colored paper, just a variety, like a pack of construction paper would work fine. Some of this is construction paper, some of this is bright, what's it called? All bright paper, I believe. Just, regular, it's like kind of like typing paper, but it's colored. But you want to choose some contrasting colors. Like I've chosen this red to be my background, and because I thought the paint would show up well on these. And the color of paint that you use is you just need to pick a contrasting color. Like for this one, I would probably choose yellow or an orange. For that, I could use orange or blue or even red. So it could be just whatever, whatever looks, is a good contrasting color is what you want to do for your papers. These are half sheets, and that's what you'll print on. And then this is the background color that I've chosen. So you'll have one large sheet and then some half sheets of different colors. All right, so I'm going to set that aside. What else do we need? So we have talked about our paints. Any kind of paint will do. You'll need a brush because you're going to spread that paint out on top of this. You're going to need some Q-tips. This is probably plenty to use. And you'll need to download the pattern and cut it out so you have all the pieces. Now, it doesn't matter to me if your body is, if you want to have a triangle shaped body, that's fine. But this is just in case you wanted something to go by. We have Reynolds wrap or any kind of aluminum foil. One of the other projects we're going to do in the coming weeks will need some heavy duty Reynolds wrap. So if you got to buy it, then get that kind. And then you've got a piece of cardboard. It could be even half this size. You just want it so that your paper can go on top of it. And a piece of foil that is a little bit bigger than this cardboard. So I'm going to take this and just fold it over and fold it over, fold it over again and again. And now I have my printing pad. Okay. So, and if you have colored markers, now I have a lot of colored markers, but colored markers, Sharpies are good, but any kind of colored marker works. You'll want. Okay, so here's our pad. And this is what we're going to do. I'm going to start with some orange paint. Now you don't want much paint, just a nice thin layer. Oops. Well, sometimes that happens. I'm going to do a nice thin layer. And then you're going to work very quickly to make some designs. And I'm going to upload some ideas for line design. And let's see, I want a squiggly line. And another squiggly line. And maybe a wiggly line inside and dots. Again, you're going to have to work fast because if it dries, then you can't print. Okay, so now I'm going to pick my pink paper. I'm going to lay my paper down, and then I'm just going to press, massage it out. Then I'm going to pick up from one edge, and there is my print. Isn't that cool? Now, I'm going to lay that over to the side so it can dry. It'll dry quickly. I think I'm going to add yellow to this. And I'm just going to do it right on top. I'm going to use the same brush. Now my yellow is a little thinner. See, now I've got this beautiful kind of yellow-orange color. And this time what I want to do is I want to show you what you can do if you wanted to go ahead and just cut out a print from one of these papers. So I'm going to let this purple be my head. And I'm going to draw out a circle in my paint. And then I'm going to give myself some big eyes. And maybe a big nose. And want even more design. Maybe some polka dots here. All right, now lay this down. Again, rub this way, rub that way, and pick it up. And I have a bit of a design. Now, my nose did not come out completely the way I wanted it to, nor the circle, but that's okay because I'm going to be cutting that out. And I look at the pattern there. That's kind of cool. I might use part of that for the leg, but I can always once this is dry, I can use my markers to add more designs on there. You're just looking for design lines, okay? Let's do one more. Spread it out again. So as I keep layering, I'm getting interesting colors. Let's see what it looked like to do one that is the same color. How about sun patterns? And a moon. And a sun. And then little curly cues. Okay, so let's see what it looks like to do one. And as with the blue. Oh, see, it's kind of a blue-green. And it's coming out a little bit. Now, while it is still wet, I'm going to go back with a new Q-tip. Because I almost had too much paint there. And I want to make sure that I don't have too much and that I can get a good print. Massage to the left, massage to the right, pick up from the corner, and voila. Now that's a more subtle design, but I like all the lines in there and I like the color. All right, so that's how you print. Have a good time. I want to show you one. I did one last night where I made a big sun and then I printed it on the page. Oops, we're moving around. So I printed it on the page and I love this. I think that could be really cool. You cut that out too, or just like this. Mount it on another color in the back. You could frame that. So play with it. Play with your printing pad and have a good time with it. Now here are the pattern pieces all cut out. I cut them all out. And now I'm going to go through my prints and decide what I want. I think I want this to be the body. So I'm just going to hold it on there and cut around. It doesn't have to be cut exactly like it. If you want a triangle body or the body that's a little more, that looks a little more like an animal of some sort or wings, You know, you could make a bird, half a bird. That is the fun of the Alebrijes. You can make whatever you want. See, isn't that cool looking? And then you can, if you wanted, you could even take colored markers and add more embellishment. If I wanted to add more dots here, I could do that. Or little squiggly lines. Or if I wanted to highlight the circles I already have. See, there are lots of things you can do. Let's do this with a blue. Ooh. Or partial. Lots of fun things, okay? Just have fun with it. There are no rules. Isn't that great? There are no rules. And no mistakes. So, that could be the body. Now, so I've got a body. Now, I could use, before I had printed the face, so that's a little bigger than what I wanted to have, but it works for this. So here's I can make sit like this. I could sit it on top, put it over here, whatever I want to do. So every one of these, you just look and say you want to have a leg like this. That would be great. This is like a monkey tail. Maybe I want to have a monkey tail that looks like that. Whatever. It does not matter. Perhaps your Alebrijes is very different. Maybe you would like to have, I think I might like a monkey tail out of that. Maybe you would like to have something that's not in this pattern. That is quite all right. Just make it your own. Because we're going to talk when we get together at the end of the month over Zoom. We're going to talk about why did you pick these features for your Alebrijes. I'll explain mine. See, like I chose, this is actually the monkey tail, like the one that I decided, well, no, it's not. I wanted to make one that was more like a tiger because I thought it just looked kind of sassy, and sometimes I feel sassy. I did camouflage because sometimes I like to be in the background, and I like to sit back and watch people. I did wings because I do love to fly. And then sometimes I just chose something because I liked the colors. I wanted to have green eyelashes to make the eyes stand out. So, in fact, if I had some white paint to go around that would look really cool to make that stand out a little bit. So that's kind of why I chose those. I also, I had some other, I could change out my body if I wanted to. So I chose some different things. I've got some legs cut out. Look, see, I didn't follow this pattern exactly. I put some toes on mine. So I might have him kick his leg up like this. And here's another leg. Maybe he's falling. And maybe another leg down here. Maybe his tail. It can hang off the paper if it wants to, if you want it to. Just play with it a little bit. Play with it and decide what you want. So there's our first lesson from Mexico. I hope you enjoyed the printing process. Print lots of papers and save them for use later. You can use them in collage and all kinds of things. I did want to say, if you don't have paper, if you don't have colored paper or you don't have any paints, that's okay. You could cut out the pattern pieces and then you could cut them from junk mail or a newspaper or a cereal box, anything at all. And then you could use if you have crayons, you could use crayons to accentuate the patterns in there, or just use the patterns that are within the pictures in a magazine or something like that. So there's always something you can do. You can also add more embellishments if you want. If you've got glitter, add a little glitter. If you want, I know some of you are going to go crazy with that, but you could use glitter, you could use yarn. Have a good time. Make it your own, and always think about why you're adding that extra little thing so that you can tell us when we start to share out at our Zoom meeting when we get together at the end of the month. All right? I can't wait to see what you do. Have a great time.